So last class we worked with, on your homework after the test, you guys worked with this idea of the triangle angle sum theorem. And what it said basically is that if you've got something like 50 and 60 degrees as two of the angles, how could you find this third?
It adds up to 180.
Yeah, you could say 50 plus 60 plus x equals 180. 110 plus x equals 180. X equals 70. But wait a minute. How do you know that's true? How do you know that the three angles in a triangle add up to 180?
It's just a rule.
It's just a rule. Did you hear the rule where you're supposed to empty your bank account and give it to your math teacher? I heard that
I
rule.
don't think that's a rule.
That's not a rule? So how do you know which rules you're supposed to follow and which you're not? We can't just say it's a rule. This is a theorem. What's the difference between a theorem and a postulate? Yeah, you got to prove this. You can't accept this until it's proven. So if you guys did the homework by just blindly accepting a theorem, shame on you. Is it true? Yes. I'm not trying to mess with you. But in a course where we're supposed to say, how do you know when something is true? We should ask that question. So I'm going to show you why it's true. And I'm going to ask that you guys please try not to accept things blindly. So what we're saying is that we want to know if A plus B plus C makes 180. That's what we're trying to get to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a line. And I'm going to make it go through point B. Well, the point above the angle measure marked as B here. How many different lines could I draw through this point? One, two, five. Infinite, right? I'm going to choose to draw the one that is parallel to this base. And the reason I'm going to choose that parallel is because now it creates a relationship between this angle and this angle. What is that relationship? Alternate interior angles, right? You see the transversal? And these are alternate interiors. Therefore, they are what? They're congruent. The lines are parallel, so AIA will be congruent. So if this is marked as A degrees, so is this. And then let's look at these two angles. What's their relationship? What do we call this pair of angles?
Yes, we're gonna have proofs on this. Like, are we gonna actually go down this? Like,
Are we going to have proofs in this unit? You mean? Not of this skill.
not gonna have this problem.
That's exactly what we're doing here, right? Is I'm proving this. And if this were an honors class, you would be responsible for proving every single theorem you use. This is not an honors class, so wipe your brow for a second. You won't have to prove every theorem. This is an example of one we won't be going through a rigorous proof of, but I want you to know where it comes from, right? Even if I'm not holding you accountable for every little step, I want you to recognize that by drawing this line parallel, we create alternate interior angles, and those are going to be congruent.
You do that for every equation.
No, we're doing this once. It creates a rule that you get to use like a shortcut for the rest of your life. That's what a theorem is. Given that this is now angle C and this is a alternate interior angle pair with it over parallel lines, how big is this angle? C also. And what do we know about these three angles altogether? 180, because they make a straight angle. And so if A plus B plus C is equal to 180, wait a minute, isn't that what we were trying to prove? A plus B plus C is 180. So that's where this comes from. And now we get to use this, and I could give you an exhaustive proof if you want. But today we're going to take it one step further. Let's say that I take one side of the triangle and I extend it past its angle. I'm going to tell you that this is now called an exterior angle, whereas these are called interior angles. And if I tell you that, for example, this is 40 degrees and this is 60 degrees, can you find the measure of this exterior angle?
Well, I'm trying to figure this out.
Okay.
For 60 x because so to find the third spot of the triangle, you do 40 plus 60 plus x equals 80, that you x equals 80. And then because it's linear tear, then it would be well,
Did you hear what Max said? He said, first, you figure out what this angle is because it adds up to 180. So in other words, this angle would be 180 minus 40 plus 60. And whatever that angle is, you then say this makes a linear pair. So I could do 180 minus this angle to find the x, right? And I just put in some weird algebra to show it this way, but 180 minus this whole mess. And I'll distribute this negative through, and what I get is 180 minus 180 plus 40 plus 60. Those cancel. And just like you said, that means that this angle is equal to the sum of those two every single time. So let's fill that into our notes here.
So we could say like measure 1 equals measure 2 and 3.
Exactly. In our notes here, we're going to say that the measure of angle 1, when it is this kind of exterior angle, is equal to the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3. And what about this part up here? A plus B plus C equals 180. These two formulas are what you're going to use primarily on this assignment. Note that they call this the exterior angle theorem. I've always called it the remote interior angle theorem. And here's the way I phrase it. The exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. There's three interior angles. One of them is adjacent to this exterior angle, and the other two are remote. So this one is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. So let's look at this one. Problem number 1. Is this asking us to apply the triangle angle sum theorem, or is it asking us to apply the exterior angle theorem or the remote interior angle theorem? Sure, it's got all the angles on the inside here. So all we'd say here is 24 plus 37 plus the measure of angle 1 equals 180. All three of them add up to 180. I'd combine like terms, subtract from both sides, and then get that angle 1 is equal to 119 degrees. Pretty straightforward. That's what you did in the assignment for last class. Any questions on that? This one allows us to apply the remote interior angles theorem. Now, would you have to do it that way? No. I could take 76 plus 52 and subtract that sum from 180 to find this step, and then say these make a linear pair and find angle 1. But that's 2 steps. Why not just do it as a single step? The measure of the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. So I'm going to go not close to it, but the other two. So the measure of angle 1 is equal to 128. Now remember, this is a course on reasoning, right? On how you know something is true. So I don't want you to just intuit it, pull out a calculator and keep plugging in numbers until you get something that works. I want you to show me a formula that works for this scenario. Does this have the exterior angle in play like our new formula asks? It does. So the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interiors. And the measure of angle 1 is our unknown. Algebraically, how do I solve that? Well, this is being added. I don't want it there, so I'm going to subtract it. Which means the measure of angle 1 is equal to 25 degrees. Most of the problems you'll be working with today have an opportunity to use several different ways of coming at it. For example, look at number 4. Could you start with angle 1 first? Do you see a way that we could find the measure of angle 1?
Yeah, you do 66 plus 84, and then whatever is.
Good. You recognize this as a triangle. And if it's a triangle, then the triangle angle sum works. So 66 plus 84 plus whatever that measure of angle 1 is will equal 180. And by writing it out this way, you're telling me the theorem you're using. You're justifying your steps. So that means that 150 plus the measure of angle 1 is equal to 180. So the measure of angle 1 is equal to 30. Now we've got that. Now, does angle 2 let us use the remote exterior angle theorem? Is it an exterior angle? It's not. Because an exterior angle is formed by extending one of the triangle's sides out. That's not what this is. Is angle 3 like that? Is it an extension of one of the sides of the triangle? It is. So angle 3 would equal what? Which two angles added together?
2 and 3.
Nope. The 66, right? So we've said this, we can see this is 66. We've just found that 1 is 30. So measure of angle 3 is equal to 66 plus 30, which is 96. Now, is that the only way we could have done it? No. What do you know about 84 and 3? What's their relationship? Supplementary, because they're a linear pair. So we could have said that the measure of angle 3 plus 84 is equal to 180. Subtracted, we get the measure of angle 3 is equal to 96 again. Same answer, just different ways. Now, there are 3 ways to find the measure of angle 2 now. Can you find all 3 of them? Somebody raise your hand and give me one of them. How could you find the measure of angle 2? Yeah, Bill?
180 minus 66 plus 43.
Number 2.
Oh,
180 minus 96 and minus 43.
yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Clever. You're saying that this whole shape is a triangle. So if I did 66 plus 30 plus this missing measure plus 43, that would all add up to 180. Very good. Does anybody see a second way we could do it? Yeah, Laura?
Like, 96 and 43 plus, measuring angle, equals 180.
Great, because this is also a triangle. So you could say 96 plus 43 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180. And that would find it. One more way. Give you a hint, it uses 84. Almost. We're not going to use alternate interiors here because alternate interiors are only good for us if, in fact, they are parallel, and we don't have any parallel lines here. But isn't this the exterior angle we were just talking about?
So 43 plus 2.
Right. So 84 is equal to 43 plus the measure of angle 2. If I subtract this, I'm going to get 41 is equal to the measure of angle 2. And again, all of those different ways should yield that same result. Okay, please complete this packet, front and back side. If you would, take a moment now up where it says class to write in the name of this assignment. This is classwork, homework 28. You can submit it in Canvas when you're done. You've got the period.